Hey everyone, Theo here. Today I want to show you the colors that I will bring to the Urban Sketches Symposium in Auckland, New Zealand next week. And it's not easy to choose which colors to bring because there are so many beautiful colors to choose from. So this is the classic choice paralysis that artists and sketchers or painters have to go through. I will bring the portable painter palette because I can attach water trays to the side, and this is very convenient. So this is definitely the watercolor box that I will bring. However, I'm going to swap out some of the colors that are here because I don't like some of these colors. These are all the colors from that box, and these are Daniel Smith colors: lemon yellow, new gamboge, yellow ochre, quinacridone red, quinacridone magenta, permanent brown, phthalo green. There is also sap green, burnt sienna, phthalo blue, French ultramarine, cerulean blue, and this Entra Scarlet is actually from this box. So from what I can see, I will probably replace quinacridone magenta because this is a color I don't use that often, and I can't remember the reason why it's even in this box. If you look at the mix you can get with quinacridone magenta and ultramarine, this is the purple or violet you can get, and this is quinacridone red with French ultramarine. So this looks more vibrant, more exciting compared to the mix with quinacridone magenta. So these two mixes are quite similar, so I can actually just replace Queen Magenta. Here's a closer look at the quinacridone red and French ultramarine mix. So this is very beautiful because you can still see the two colors that I used to create this mix. So quinacridone magenta will be the first color to go. Now this pen has been in this box for a very long time, so it's kind of difficult to take this out. Wow, that's quite dirty on the bottom side. I'm not sure whether I should keep permanent brown, PBR25. So let's take a look at this color and try and mix it with ultramarine to see what we can get. Generally speaking, if you mix a blue and a brown or an earth color, you can get a neutral color. Oh, I used too much water. So let's add some perm brown, and this actually looks kind of nice. Let's look at permanent brown with phthalo blue. So this neutral color looks beautiful as well, which is why I'm quite hesitant to replace permanent brown. And let's see what we can get if we use a lot of paint. This is almost black. So this can be quite useful when it comes to creating darker values. I have decided to keep permanent brown because without permanent brown, I will not be able to mix a color this dark with the other colors in the box. The three blues I have in this box are phthalo blue, green shade, French ultramarine, and cerulean blue chromium. So these are the blues I have been using for years. Phthalo blue is great for mixing yellow greens and phthalo greens and also black. But this color is, or this paint or pigment is not easy to use because it's highly tinting. So you have to be very careful when using phthalo blue. French ultramarine is just a fantastic mixing color. And cerulean blue chromium is the color or pigment that I use for mixing light neutral grays. I am trying to decide whether to bring sap green. Phthalo green will definitely be out because I can mix this color with lemon yellow and phthalo blue. So I'm deciding whether to use or bring sap green. I'm not sure how much greenery there will be in the city area, which is why I'm not sure whether to bring sap green. But I can definitely replace sap green with another yellow or another blue that I can use to mix green. So this is a secondary color, which is not going to be as useful compared to a primary mixing color. Wow, this is quite dirty as well. But the bottom is surprisingly clean. Okay, I've decided to take out sap green as well. I will include another yellow in its place. So I'm going to have another yellow, another blue, another red. And I need to move plum brown down here so that the color arrangement makes sense to me. Okay, let's move it here. So I'm going to add azo yellow here, which is a meat yellow, which is a very vibrant meat yellow. So this is the palette that I always use when I'm sketching in Singapore. This is a small palette, so it's not great for trips because you can use up the paint very quickly. I'm going to take out azo yellow. By the way, the colors in this box are azo yellow, anthraquinone scarlet, yellow ochre, phthalo blue, cobalt blue deep, and burnt sienna. So I've been using this color palette, this limited color palette, for a very long time, and I'm very familiar with the color mixes that I can get with these colors. Now, when you are preparing colors, choosing colors for your overseas trip, make sure to choose colors that you are familiar with, because I don't think it's great to be testing which colors work well for mixing when you're already overseas. I have some blue tag there to make sure the pens don't fall out. But after you paint with your pens for a while and the paint goes into the gap, the pen will actually just stick to the sides. So that's anthraquinone scarlet. Oh, my fingers are dirty. And the next blue I want to include is cobalt blue deep, which is one of my favorite blues, which is actually quite similar to ultramarine because it's granulating. The intense granulation from this paint, this pigment, is so beautiful. Okay, it's out. Let me put this here. The downside to cobalt blue dip is this pigment or this paint can get used up really quickly. Let me show you the mix you can get with cobalt blue dip and burnt sienna. So this actually looks like ultramarine. You can get very nice grays as well, just like ultramarine. But the main difference is there is very obvious granulation with this pigment. And just for comparison purposes, this is ultramarine and this is burnt sienna. And this is cobalt blue deep with quinacridone red. I can get a nice purple or violet here as well, with very noticeable granulation. Now that this is dry, we can have a closer look. So this is burnt sienna with cobalt blue dip. This is burnt sienna with French ultramarine. The visual difference between these two is not that obvious, but trust me, when you are coloring your sketch with cobalt blue dip, you will see the difference. And the amount of granulation you can get from this paint will vary depending on the company that makes this paint. This is quinacridone red with cobalt blue dip, and you can see the granulation as well. It's very beautiful. If you are not sure which color to include in your watercolor box, always go with a primary color because it's quite difficult to go wrong with a primary color. With cobalt blue dip, I can mix a green with yellow. I can mix a purple or violet with quinacridone red. I can mix a neutral gray with plum brown or burnt sienna. So this is definitely more versatile compared to sap green. But obviously that's because this is a primary color versus a secondary color. I've also added azo yellow and anthraquinone scarlet to the box, and these are very vibrant primary colors. There were news of anthraquinone scarlet PR168 being discontinued a few years ago, but it seems like you can still buy this paint, this pigment nowadays, so maybe it's not discontinued after all. And this is a very lovely warm red, a warm scarlet. Alright, so now I am all set and ready for my trip. All I have to do is fill the paint to the brim. Let me know in the comment section below which are the must-have colors that you always include in your box. Remember to subscribe to the main Urban Sketchers channel to watch my daily coverage of the Urban Sketchers Symposium in Auckland, New Zealand.